What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Relentless Project. We love to glorify the grind, the blood, the sweat, the hours on the mat, but we rarely talk about the cost. What happens when the body starts to say no before the mind is done fighting? See, my guest today knows that feeling intimately. He has spent the last 20 plus years in the trenches of high-level combat sports. His resume is stacked. NCAA Division All-American wrestler, IBJJF double pants champion at brown belt, PANS Black Belt medalist, and an undefeated amateur MMA record, and 2-0 as a pro MMA fighter. But if you look at his record, you'll see a gap. His last professional fight was in 2021. He hit a wall that skill couldn't fix. But instead of quitting, he found a solution. He is now the founder of Electrons Avenue Wellness, a business centered around the very technology he credits with saving his competitive career. He is a man who refused to let his body expire before his dreams did. Jake Lowry, welcome to the Relentless Project.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
How does it feel to hear a description about you?
I feel a little gassed up right now. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
should be gassed up.
I feel like I need you to do that before I go do anything, you know?
You go to a client's house, he's like, Jake Lowry, Electrons Plus.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I pull up in my Honda Civic with my bag.
Dude, so it's interesting. I thought, so we were talking prior to the show, and he's like, I want to show you what I do. And I'm like, dude, love it. Like, the whole point is to highlight what you do. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm thinking you're going to bring like a little, TEMS machine or PEMF machine or something like that. My dude came prepared. Shout out Nick. This is my boy Nick. He helps me with everything. Nick, this is Jake Lowry, and we're live. He's smiling. So when you brought that table in, I'm like, this dude's legit. Not only did he bring the table in, he brought waivers. I'm like, dude. And I didn't have a pen because I'm not prepared in my own studio. He got a pen too, so
that's right.
Legit. Before we get into all that, because that's kind of the thing that brought you back, let's talk about how it all started. You've been doing this for 20 years. You've been, and your background is essentially wrestling. What got you into wrestling and at what age? I'm going to guess 8.
I don't know. How old are you in 6th grade? Like 13, maybe? 12, 13?
10.
Something like that? 10?
Oh, it's close.
When it happens, yeah. I don't know.
So you got into wrestling at 10. What gets you into wrestling?
So I actually grew up in Alabama for the first 7 years of my life. My dad was a wrestler. And in Alabama, we didn't have wrestling. So I just did everything. I was baseball, basketball, soccer, football, all of it. And then we moved to Georgia, and we were all upset about it because we loved our house, you know what I mean? We didn't want to leave. And my dad was like, no, you don't get it. You're about to get to wrestle. I was like, okay, that sounds good. Let's start wrestling. Moved to Georgia, started wrestling. Haven't stopped since.
So did you move to wrestle, or you moved and it was like, we're about to start wrestling?
Well, I think it was always kind of a focal point for sure. Like my dad knew we were aggressive and had ADD, all that stuff. So we needed a way to get it out, and
wrestling fixes all that.
Wrestling fixes all of it. Yeah. So moved to Georgia and then eventually moved to Pennsylvania for wrestling too.
That's the wrestling capital of the.
That's why we're here.
I can't say world because all the Dagestanians are kind of dominating that right now. I don't even know if that's what you Dagestanian. All the folks from Dagestan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, PA is a huge wrestling state. When did you get to Pennsylvania?
I moved to Pennsylvania in 8th grade, so I wrestled for 2 or 3 years, and then my brother was a junior in high school, and to get in-state tuition, you have to be in the state for 2 years. So he was going into his junior year. My dad was like, hey, you guys love wrestling. If you're going to do it in college, we got to get you to PA so you can get some money to pay for it. We were like, all right, let's do it. So we moved to PA, started wrestling here, and went to college, got our degrees. It all worked out.
Were you in the Pittsburgh area?
We were in the Whitfield, yeah. I was in Uniontown, Albert Gallatin High School.
Nice. And what school did you end up going to?
For college?
Yeah.
Teal.
Teal.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you end up majoring in?
Criminal justice and sociology.
So you went for wrestling.
That's what I tell everyone. They're like, "What's your major?" I'm like, "Wrestling."
Yeah,
for sure.
It's so funny. Like I was just having this conversation today with someone. Like when schools want you there for a sport, you'll have the craziest majors for the athletes.
Yeah.
And like there's very few that pursue a major that they actually want to go in and then pursue the sport.
For sure.
Most of them are like, throw me in whatever. Like I'm here for sports.
Well, and you're so dumb at 18. Like, not
Oh,
trying to be offensive or anything, but
dumb.
at 18, you don't know what you're doing. They throw you into this place where you're away from home for the first time. You got all your friends there with you. And it's just crazy. And then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, by the way, what do you want to do with your life?" And you're like, I have no clue.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So to talk about how dumb I was at 18. So obviously, I come from humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
My mother never even finished high school.
Yeah.
But I credit a lot of my success to her because I couldn't miss a sheet of homework.
Yeah.
Like she was on it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, as I'm older, I'm like, that's crazy that she was able to instill a lot of things in me that she didn't have the opportunity to pursue.
That's probably why, though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, she learned from her mistakes. She didn't want you to make the same ones, so she pushed you in the right direction.
Well, she was like forced to grow up early.
Yeah.
Like at 14, she was taking care of her entire family. At 14, I was still probably pooping myself and eating boogers.
Yeah.
I don't remember that long, but so I'm in school and I don't have enough money to go, right? And they're like, "Oh, this is not what they said," but the essence was, "You're an inner city minority. Okay. You're fine." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for free." They're like, "Hey, you need X amount of money. We the FAFSA doesn't cover it, but there's this thing called the Parent Plus loan. Your mom can get the loan. You can apply for it." And I'm like, "I'm gonna tell you something for free. That ain't gonna get approved."
Yeah.
And they're like, "That's great. If it doesn't get approved, it goes straight to you, and they give it to you anyway." I'm like, "Sign me up."
Yep.
Essentially, put myself in all this student debt.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, "Oh, it's free. I'm not paying for it right now." Man, as the older I am, the more I realize how stupid I was and how important it is to have a support system and someone who can guide you through that process.
Right.
So that was me at 18. No sports, no nothing like that. I'm just like, I tried to walk onto a team, and that didn't.
What was
end
your
up
major?
So going to Penn State, you can't go in with a major.
Okay.
I wanted to be an electrical engineer.
Okay.
So your first 2 years are undecided, but you get to take like the prerequisites for that. I'm taking those. I'm like, this is not for me. I'll go business like everyone else does. So then I did supply chain management.
Okay.
That was wild. Then I was like, a lot of my friends were in like pursuing marketing, and I'm like, that's cool. Like I love talking to people. I love learning. I love problem solving. I've always had this like creative side to me.
Yeah.
So like, I'll do marketing. And then I did an advertising certificate, and then I minored in communications because in there it was like, I wasn't the best writer, best speaker.
Right.
English being my second language. I was like, I get to learn like how to do this legit. So I ended up getting a marketing bachelor's, communications minor, and an advertising certificate.
Nice. This makes sense then.
So now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Then I decided to be a cop after that. Threw it all away.
Yeah, interesting.
And I was like, I didn't have to do this. But
Why?
now...
Why a cop?
Dude, I tell a story all the time, and it's a lot of things that come into one. So like, I've always been fascinated, especially where I grew up. Police were a heavy presence.
Oh yeah.
And you had the two sides. It was like, man, they need to be here, or else this, our neighborhood runs amok. And then you had the groups that I tended to hang with, and they're like, man, fuck the police. They're harassing.
Yep.
But every time I noticed, like every time I interacted with them, they didn't have to show me love and respect.
Yeah.
And I did the same because I was fearful of them. Back in the day, it was yes sir, no sir, because you just want them gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it wasn't this challenging them and stuff like that. It was like, hey, we want them out of the neighborhood. Just yes sir, no sir, boom, boom, they're gone.
Yep.
And I was getting in some trouble, and they always like, hey, dude, like, is this what you want for the rest of your life, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I started to see a different side. And I'd always watch cops. And I'm
Perspective changed.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think I could even be that with my, the people I've associated with and all that. And then one day I'm working construction, I'm just bullshitting with this cop who's on a detail there. He's like, yeah, dude, you'd make a good cop. Like, you can talk to people, you like, that's what it's about. And I'm like, I don't think I would. Like, you don't know my past. And he's like, dude, being in that will make you a better cop because you can understand and connect with people better.
Exactly.
And I was like, fuck it. Long story short, I shot my shot, got in the academy, became the captain, got hired immediately after. I was like, man, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
So that's my summary of becoming a cop. But in that, I'm like, there's always something more. That's my problem. I'm like, so I starting businesses here. They've been failing, But I started using the marketing stuff more with the podcast and, making logos for companies and websites and, hey, what should I do about this? I'm trying to promote this. I'm like, oh, you should do this. So like, I kind of found myself back in the marketing and advertising space, which I can appreciate. Yeah. But this isn't about me. This is about you.
Well, I mean, it's a conversation, though. It goes both ways.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you decide, you go for criminal justice. Did you have any plans for anything, or was it just a major to get into so you can pursue wrestling?
Well, I actually didn't go for criminal justice, if we're being honest. I started as I wanted to be a business management major, and I was terrible at accounting. I couldn't handle it. It was just so boring. You're just going through the spreadsheets, looking for the problems, and I'm like, dude, this ain't me. This is not me. So I didn't do too well in that class because I just hated it.
Couldn't apply.
Yeah. So then after that, all my dreams that I had kind of went up as smoke, and I went to my advisor. I was like, hey, what's the easiest thing I can do? He says sociology. So I was like, all right, sign me up. Let's do that. Because I was there to wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, looking back, dumbest thing ever. But at that point in my life, I was there to wrestle. So I did sociology. At the end of that, I still had a year or two left, and they were like, dude, you only need 3 more classes to get your criminal justice major. I was like, all right, sign me up. Might as well get something else,
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah. I mean, that's good because you got something.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I tell people all the time, like, my dad kind of gets upset about it. He's like, yeah, you're in all this debt and you're not even doing what your major was. I was like, yeah, but it wasn't about that. It was about changing my perspective and learning who I was as a person and learning how to treat people, learning how to do the things that are making me into the person that I am now.
For sure. I think college gets a lot of bad rap because of the political climate and all. But all that aside, like, college showed me a lot. It opened my world view, right?
For sure.
Like, I was around kids from all demographics, all parts of the world, different income levels. Yep. There was a kid there who I remember. This is how crazy it was for me. There was a kid I went to school with who didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, and he got into this program. He was like, "This is my escape. I will go into all the debt I have to because it's going to pay off in the long. It's going to break me out of my environment." And then there was a kid who his dad bought him a Maserati so he can get to school. Like, that's how
just
drastic
the whole
it
spectrum,
was. So like me, one thing that did for me, besides all the stuff I learned and the environment put me in, it showed me, like, I thought I had it bad. I gotta stop feeling sorry for myself. There's people who have it way worse than me.
Yeah.
And there's people who have it way better than me that I should be striving for.
Yeah.
So it really opened up my eyes into, like, I need to stop fucking feeling sorry for myself because there's this kid who's doing this alone, no parents, no nothing, was living in different houses and finding. He told me he was like breaking into houses to sleep in, like abandoned houses to sleep in. And he's in college.
Yeah. What's he do now? Just out of curiosity.
So I actually saw his Instagram about a year ago, and he pursued a law degree, and he's out in the West Coast, like doing law. I'm not sure what type of law.
Dude, good for him. That's amazing.
You know what I mean? I'm like, now he's doing better than me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's great.
It's like no excuse for me, right?
No.
So that's what college did for me. And it opened up, class. And I met one of my homies, Nico Carbo, one of the only sponsors of the podcast right now. The dude, when I started this, he was like, I'm going to sponsor it. I'm like, well, you don't even know what it's going to be like. I haven't even made an episode. Boom, threw money at it. He's like, don't worry about it.
He didn't invest in the podcast. He invested in you.
Yeah. And forever indebted in that dude, man. and I met him in college.
Yeah.
So going to college,
Yep.
it's not for everyone, but if
No.
it's an opportunity you have, I implore you to explore, because it's going to change your viewpoint on stuff.
For sure.
So you start wrestling in college. How was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. I mean, it's kind of why I do what I do today. You know what I mean? I mean, you're in this team setting where you're killing each other every day, more or less. Everybody's beat up, everybody's tired, everybody's dying, and you throwing punches in the corner. Next thing you know, you're like shaking hands, going to dinner together. You know what I mean? You're best friends. It's like that's kind of when I fell in love with the sport. In high school, I would say I was a little more stressed out about it, to the point where I didn't enjoy it like I should have. And then I got to college, and this is the other thing about college. You got to figure out, like, nobody's making me do this. Why am I doing this? And then you take a couple days to think about it, and you're like, I'm doing it because I like it. And then once you realize you like it, then it just turns into this evolution of like turning into, now I love this thing. Like, I'm doing this for me.
Especially as a student athlete, it's like you want to keep doing the thing you love. You have to show up to your classes.
Yeah.
You have to do the work. You have to be at a certain
Yep.
GPA, or you don't get to do the thing you love.
Oh, yeah.
So you learn time management. You learn priority. You learn how to start planning your day, because no one's waking, right? Like when you're in high school, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have their parents who like wake them up. Hey, make sure you got to go to school. Don't be late.
Yep.
In college, you don't have that.
No. I was on probation my first semester. I know all about it, dude. Like I said, at 18, I was not smart. I was just worried about fitting in and doing the cool stuff and trying to make everyone like me. And that's puts you in a hole. And then once you're in that hole, then you learn who you are.
And that's the story of a majority of freshmen going.
Yeah.
You know, you're put into an environment where the accountability is on you.
Oh, yeah.
Then my GPA, I went to a collegiate preparatory school up in Erie, right? First of my family, first of my group, my environment to break out and do that.
Yeah.
And I was the first in my immediate family to go to college. And I was like, I got freedom now. Like I can do what I want. And
whatever,
my grades showed. And it wasn't like till my entire college career, never bought a book.
Yeah.
Never took notes. I didn't know about any of that. I just listened to the teacher talk and remember as much as I can. And then I'd borrow someone's book to do the problems.
Yeah.
And I'd take the test. Like that was my entire college career. I could probably be, who knows what I could be if I actually like sat down and I don't even know how to study.
Yeah. Dude, I was like that for a long time, for a very long time. In high school, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same.
A lot of people don't, because they almost kind of make it such an easy guideline for you in high school that you don't really have to study. Like, you do your homework, you're getting half of your grade right there. You know what I mean? And then you get to college, they're like, dude, if you don't want to come to class, don't come.
That's exactly.
And then you
tell
don't go, and then you get your grades, and you're like, oh, now I'm in big trouble.
I need to start coming.
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Or one of your classes is like the capstone project. It's like, hey, this entire grade of your class is this project.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over how to get there, but the rest is on you.
Yeah. And you wait till the last minute.
Like there's no daily homework assignments.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have to do it on your own if you want to learn how to do this thing.
But looking back now, those are my favorite kind of classes I had, because it forced me to do the work on my own with no one telling me what to do. So I had to find out what I wanted to do, and I actually had to do the research and keep myself invested in it. And when I'm invested in something, I have a lot higher chance of doing well on it. You know what I mean? But if they're just forcing this stuff to me, I have a hard time with that, because a lot of times I just can't get into it. And if I'm not into it, there's no chance.
And we're human, right? When someone tells you need to do something, what's the immediate reaction?
Rebel.
No, I don't.
Rebel. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't. It's like, yes,
For
you do.
sure.
No, I don't. If you could change one thing about entering college now that you're, out of it, and what would you do differently for the kid who may be going to college, has that wrestling scholarship, or he's going for wrestling? What advice would you give that person?
Man, that's a tough question.
Because we ain't here to smell flowers.
I would say, even at that young of an age, like, the last thing you want to do is try to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your future. But that's the time you need to do it, unfortunately. Like, it sucks, but I mean, the wrestling is going to teach you a lot about life. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself. But at the end of the day, once you get out of there, you got to have a career for the rest of your life that you don't hate. So I would say look more into what you want to do for the rest of your life and try to go in an avenue that leads you into that.
Yeah, have a plan.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, we hate the plan Bs, but having a fallback plan and attacking both with the same intensity.
I don't even know if I would call it a fallback. I would say like parallel. You know what I mean? Like you're going through both. Like I don't think as humans, like we're meant to not strive for things. And if you have a couple different things that you're striving for, don't go overboard. Like if you get more than one or two, like it's going to be hard and you're not going to be good at any of them. But if you have your two things that you like, those are the two things you chase. You stay on that course and you try to be the best at both of them.
Facts. So when did you get, because you do your black belt in Jiu Jitsu now, and you had a stint in MMA. How did those come to be? Did those happen in contingency with wrestling, or because a lot of people finish wrestling and they're like, what now? And they end up exploring something else. How did that work for you?
Well, that's kind of exactly how it worked for me. After wrestling.
Typical wrestlers, man.
Yeah, I had knee surgery my senior year. Didn't get to do that one. And then came back for a super senior year, broke and tore my ribs. So that one put me out of that one. And that took me a long time to heal from. That was probably a year and a half recovery before I finally felt good enough to start working out again. And by that time, I'm out of college. I'm working every day. I'm just hating it.
Like, what were you working in?
I was in the iron workers at that point. I met this guy and he was like, hey, you want to make some money? Come work for me. He's like, you got a good build. Like, you'd be perfect for this. I'm like, all right, I like working with my hands. We'll try this. So I'm in the iron workers. And I actually really liked the iron workers. I'm not going to lie. I like to build stuff. I like to work. Did not mind the iron workers. However, you're working 7/12s every week. And there's no time for anything else. So at that point, like, I didn't like the iron workers anymore because I couldn't really pursue anything else. Like I said, I like having two things that I'm trying to pursue, that I'm trying to get the best at. And when you're in the iron workers, man, it's, especially in the winter, dude, you're out there in the cold and you think there's no wind. Get up in a JLG lift in the middle of winter. Tell me there's no wind. I don't care what day it is. There's wind.
Imagine being cold there in this weather right now, -3.
My roommate from college is still in the ironworkers, and I think of him every day. He'll usually send me a Snapchat of him like up on the roof, and I'm like, dude, I appreciate you for doing this because it makes what I'm doing so much better, because it reminds me of how bad that was. Like, dude, it is cold out there.
As they would say in New York, it's brick out there. It's brick. I don't even know what that means, but
I don't either,
cold.
but I kind of get it.
So you dealt with injuries, right? And in this industry, right, the martial arts industry, we see that too frequently. Yeah, and it can hinder your mental health.
Oh yeah,
right, because like you're go, especially as a wrestler. You guys are a different breed. You know, they tell you sit out 2 weeks, you sit out 2 days, and you're like, I'm good to go back in. Yeah, highly unadvisable. But yeah. So how was that for you, having to step back from one of the two things that you were pursuing? Oh man,
it's terrible. I mean, you always know you're going to get back to it at some point, but it's just, you have momentum, and momentum is huge in the sport. So then once that momentum derails, it's almost a little depressing, you know what I mean? Because you're so focused on, I need to be at practice this day, and this day, or I'm not reaching my goals. So then when you're not doing that, it's like this cycle you get stuck in, I feel like. But looking back on all of it now, it kind of led me into what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? I had a lot of injuries in college. Tore my MCL, tore my UCL, broke my ribs, tore my meniscus. Like, it was just injury after injury. And now that I'm older, I'm seeing that was a lot from overtraining and just not believing in the process that I should have been believing in. Because I just thought I just have to break through these walls. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like the Hulk. Like, you just get mad and you just do it.
And that's the culture, right? Grind.
For sure.
Grind.
For sure. And there has to be some of that. And there has to be, like, in my opinion, a lot of that. But also, whenever your body starts breaking down, it's kind of time to recover. And I heard I think it was Sugar Sean O'Malley. He said, it takes confidence to take a day off. And as soon as he said that, I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm going in and training hurt because I'm nervous that I'm not going to be ready for this fight. You know what I mean? And when you're in that mindset, you don't recover because you're like, it doesn't matter. I just have to be ready for this fight. But at the end of the day, you're almost hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. You know what I mean?
Are you going to be ready going in hurt?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good. It takes confidence to
Yeah.
take a day off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be sure of yourself. Like, hey, I've put the work into this point that I can afford a day off.
Yeah, and you have to be confident enough in your understanding of the sport and of your body that taking this day off is going to be better for me in the long run, right?
How did jiu-jitsu come along?
So anyway, back to the story. I'm working in the ironworkers. I'm like, this ain't it. And I was just miserable. And I was like, I couldn't figure out why I was so miserable. And I was like, thinking about it. And then I was living with a couple friends from the wrestling team in Greenville, working in the ironworkers, just being dumb. And we're talking one day and my buddy's like, hey, I found this jiu-jitsu gym in Hermitage. He's like, you always talked about wanting to fight. You always talked about wanting to do jiu-jitsu. He's like, put your money where your mouth is. Let's go try this thing out. It's like, all right, I'm in. And I started training and immediately all of the, I don't really want to call it depression. That sounds super bad, but like just sadness and like
The darkness.
I didn't feel like I had the motivation that I had before. And as soon as I started jiu-jitsu, I was like, this is it. This is what I've been missing. It was training. And I didn't realize that because you try to block it out of your mind when you have all these injuries. You're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. And you start making these sad stories for yourself. And the next thing you know, you're the snowball effect. You know what I mean? So then I started training with him and went in the first day. I'm like, dude, I'm an All-American wrestler. There ain't nobody touching me in here. No, I got subbed probably 10 times that night. And I loved it. I was like, dude, I got to figure this out. Like, this is terrible.
More.
Yeah, I was like, this is a puzzle, and I got to figure out this puzzle. So then I got addicted. And then it just, from that point on, I just, every day, it's like, yep, I'm going to train.
There's nothing worse than a wrestler who does jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. Like, you have the technical guru stuff of jiu-jitsu with the relentless mindset of a wrestler.
Well, and
dangerous.
I think the wrestling aspect of it, like we were talking earlier, you're just running through walls. And then you get to jiu-jitsu and you're like, wait, I can actually think about this and figure this out and make it a lot easier on myself. And there's actually technique to it. You know what I mean? Mike
Wilkins said it best to me. He said, in jiu-jitsu, you look for an open door.
Yes.
There's no door, you look for a window.
Mm-hmm.
And a wrestler, they look for an open door. If it's locked, they break through it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's exactly the best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a crutch in the beginning, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
in wrestling, you're taught to be open, be out, spread.
Yeah.
You don't want to be pinned. In jiu-jitsu, that's arm bars, guillotines, all kinds of chokes. And so it's like in the beginning, it's tough. But then once you learn to tuck in and all that stuff, and you're like, oh, we're fucked. He learned jiu-jitsu.
Dude, same thing with fighting. I remember when I first moved to the Mat Factory with Isaac, it's him and Dom Mazzata, Chris Dempsey, and Matt Schaefer. They're all teaching me how to be on the wall. I'm like, dude, I'm an All-American wrestler. I know how to take people down.
Telling Isaac that.
Like, yeah, and then Isaac's like, all right, take Dempsey down. I'm like, okay. Not a chance, dude. So then they're showing me all these different techniques. And I remember looking at Isaac because I get a little frustrated when I can't do something good on the first try, surprisingly enough. And I can't take Dempsey down. Isaac starts showing me the technique. I was like, so what you're telling me is my 20 years of wrestling doesn't mean anything. He was like, yeah, pretty much.
It means a lot up here, but it doesn't translate well until you can connect the dots.
Exactly, yeah.
Then what a place to go to. Isaac at the Mat Factory, man. Amazing wrestler, amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner, amazing dude.
Amazing human, yes.
So how did you get connected with the Mat Factory? You were out in Hermitage.
So I was actually training with Dalton at the time. And he was like, hey, dude, I've been going to the Mat Factory on Sundays. He's like, I'm telling you, if you want to get to the next level, he's like, come with me on Sundays. So I would actually meet him in Newcastle, and he would drive me down to the Mat Factory with him. I was like, you're right, dude. This is it. This is where I need to be because it's just a different mindset, a different level of cardio. Like the first time you go there, it's just like blindsided. You think you're in shape, you're not in shape. And then you go there and you feel it and you're like, yeah, this is that next level that I need. So then my gym closed down when COVID started. And as soon as that happened, it's so weird how life works. So I had a roommate in college. His name's Cole Harkins. Freshman and sophomore year, he's my roommate. He goes to IUP, transferred because he had hip surgery. So he couldn't wrestle anymore. He's like, dude, I'm not paying all this money to be at Teal when I can't wrestle. He's like, I'm going to IUP. I'm going to pay a lot less money for it, blah, blah, blah. So then I hadn't talked to him for probably 2 years. And as soon as my gym closed down, I'm sitting there in my apartment just going crazy. I'm like, dude, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I get a text from Cole Harkins. He's like, hey, man, how's everything going? I was like, not great. My gym just closed down. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I kind of had a feeling. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, move in with me, train at the Mat Factory. So I texted Isaac that night. I was like, hey, can I come in and train at the Mat Factory? He's like, yeah, you need a place to live? I was like, no, I got that handled, but I'll be down tomorrow. So I moved in the next week, and that's what got me at the Mat Factory.
And that's what makes Isaac a different breed.
Amazing.
He's like, of course. Do you need a place? Like that's how I had Bobby Murda on, and I heard his story, and how Isaac, looked out for him. And it's like, this isn't something he does for special, but this is something he does for people who need it.
I just want to take a second to shout out a few companies who believed in me. These were one of our first official sponsors, so huge shout out. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Carbo Jewelers, established in 1997 on the values of honesty and integrity. Whether you're searching for the perfect piece, need expert repair services, visit Carbo Jewelers in Newark's Ironbound District, where your jewelry is always in safe hands. This episode is also brought to you by Continental Jewelers, proudly serving Hudson County, New Jersey since 1964. Whether you're seeking a timeless piece or need expert repairs, they've got you covered. Visit Continental Jewelers, your trusted source for all things jewelry. You can find them on Instagram at Carbo Jewelers or online at carbojewelers.com. Lastly, big shout out to Carbo Trading. Besides coins, precious metals, and jewelry, if it could be traded and collected, he's probably got it. They can be found on Instagram at carbo.trading. You can find all of our sponsors out online on our sponsor page at therelentlessproject.com.
I don't know if it's because of the environment you're raised around that you're just not used to seeing people like that. No joke. When I went to the Mat Factory at first, I saw how nice Isaac was to me and how he was just trying to help me with everything. And I'm like, dude, this guy wants something from me because no one's this nice.
He does want something from you.
Dude, here we are 6 years later, and it's better than it's ever been. Like, that's one of my favorite humans in the world.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I had the pleasure of interviewing him on the podcast. And then, so I tell a story too many times. Mm-hmm. So I wear my rash guard, I'm like, gotta be, we're in the environment.
One of the boys, yeah.
And then he's like, hey, we have a private training going on next door. You want to come train?
Yeah.
And I'll admit, every excuse hit. I know Mat Factory.
Yeah.
I know how you guys are. Mm-hmm. My cardio is nowhere near where you guys have it.
Yeah.
But I say yes. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I end up puking.
Yeah.
After.
Oh yeah.
And he recorded it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, damn. It's a different breed, man. Good dudes out there. Good chicks out there. The female team is insane too.
Amazing, yeah.
Like anyone who steps foot in there, you're bound to find success as long as you apply yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
So wrestlers are known for having a different type of gas tank and different type of toughness. How hard was it transitioning from the grind of collegiate wrestling to the flow of jiu-jitsu?
I still haven't figured it all the way out, honestly. I mean, I feel like a lot of the times when I'm losing these jiu-jitsu matches, it's because I don't know how to take my foot off the gas. So I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to make it to the next step. And sometimes in jiu-jitsu, what I'm learning as I'm still evolving is you have to be patient. Yeah. No, I got my black belt and I was like, dude, you take this thing back. I don't deserve this yet. But I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, everyone kind of feels that way, I think. But
approaches it the right way.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But you've had you say that you've had what I would say is a successful jiu-jitsu career. I mean, you won double gold at Pans as a brown belt, which that's the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
Like, walk us through that process. How did you get into deciding to go to that level, and walk us through the matches, the mindset.
So that was after my last fight. I took some time off, obviously. I was going through a lot of just medical stuff, doctors telling me different things, and you get almost trapped in that cycle. And then I came back for a 247 grappling match. It was the first one they did, I believe. And they were like, hey, we'll put you against Tanner Hall. I was like, okay, perfect. And that's what brought me back into the game. Well, as soon as I did that, I was like, I'm back, I'm going. And they always wanted me to do pans and worlds and all that stuff while I was fighting. I was like, dude, not a chance. Like, if it's not fighting right now, I'm not doing it. Because you're just
you were
so
actually
singularly
fighting
minded.
while you're pursuing this jiu-jitsu.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to fight, you need jiu-jitsu, you need wrestling, you need striking. If you don't have one of the three, you're going to get exposed. I promise.
So you're saying no, but then you said yes.
Yeah, so I said no while I was fighting because at that point I didn't want to, and this is probably like a small mindset yet again, where you're like, oh, I can't be putting all my time into doing these jiu-jitsu moves because in a fight I don't want to be in this position. So I don't want to get myself used to being in this position. I want to be on top. I want to be where I can control the fight and I can inflict damage, right? That's kind of the goal of fighting. So small-mindedly, I was like, yeah, I don't want to learn the rest of this stuff because I don't think it's going to help me in my mixed martial arts career. So then when that kind of came to a little pause there, I started actually diving into the jiu-jitsu aspect of it. And I was like, you know what? I actually really like this. So
I could use this.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so weird how your mind works. Everyone thinks they know everything, me included. And then 10 years down the road, you're like, I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything.
Comparison is the thief of all joy, they say.
Yes,
right? Because
exactly, yeah.
especially at the black belt level.
Yeah.
Right? Because to the person who doesn't understand or isn't in jiu-jitsu, they see you. I feel like a lot of people who don't do jiu-jitsu know what a black belt is. They see you, they see Isaac, they see Warren, and it's like, oh, they're all black belts. They're all
the same thing.
level.
No.
And it's just like, they're so wildly different. Their styles are different, right? Like,
yeah.
everything is different in their approach, their styles, their
Yeah.
attacks.
And that's something I've been adjusting to in the jiu-jitsu world now is just recently getting my black belt. You start going to these competitions, and when you're a brown belt, when you're a purple belt, you're like, oh, okay, these guys are within my range, right? When you get a black belt, you could be a 2-day black belt or you could be a 20-year black. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like you said, there's such a range there, and you have to kind of figure out where you fit in and start learning how to try to catch these 20-year black belts. You know what I mean?
For the listener who isn't in jiu-jitsu or wrestling, walk us through the difference between the intensities of a wrestling match and a jiu-jitsu black belt match. What are some things you've noticed that differ?
So in wrestling, it is a sprint the whole time. Like, it is me imposing my will on you, more or less. Everyone knows the same stuff. It's not like wrestling, you learn this crazy move and it just beats everything. No, everyone's going off of the basics at the highest level, and whoever can do the basics the best and get their cardio to the max level where they can out-cardio you, that's probably who's going to win. In jiu-jitsu, it's not really like that. It's more knowledge. You know what I mean? So in jiu-jitsu, there's so much more technique to it, in my opinion. Not that wrestling doesn't have a lot of technique, but in jiu-jitsu, there's so many different avenues that you can either inflict your will on your opponent or they can catch you with something, you know what I mean? So you got to be prepared for all of those different avenues. Whereas in wrestling, like, there's a little bit of that, but I would say most of that is just being hard-nosed and kind of breaking people, more or less.
Yeah, you mentioned a good thing. In wrestling, you're doing the basics at the highest level.
Yeah.
And I feel like in jiu-jitsu, people forget about the basics and want to do the next.
Well, because there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I went through that in wrestling. I think this helped my jiu-jitsu a lot. In wrestling, when you're in middle school, you're like, oh, I got to learn the next big move. I got to learn the next big move. You start learning fireman's carries. You're like, that looks awesome. I'm going to learn that. And then you go on to the next thing and then on to the next thing. And then in high school, you start realizing, like, well, this stuff doesn't really work on, like, these higher level people. And then you get into college and your coach is like, hey, forget everything you learned. This is our system. You're going to do the basics. You're going to do them very well, and you're going to try to do them better than everyone else. So then you kind of go through that cycle of like almost too much knowledge is a bad thing. Like my old striking coach, Striking Concepts, he used to tell me all the time, keep it simple, stupid. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. Exactly. Because if you have too much going on, you're almost spinning in your mind too much, and then you'll never get anything accomplished.
So you mentioned you were fighting while you were learning jiu-jitsu. What stemmed your interest in, now you're not just grappling. Now you're introducing strikes and fighting.
Yeah.
What was that motivation?
Oh, man. So when I first started wrestling, I remember my dad's the one that got me into it, obviously, and we would watch the UFC fights and stuff, and I remember it was Matt Hughes and Frank Trigg. I think it was their second fight, and my dad's like, oh, this guy's a wrestler. Watch him fight. I'm like, okay. Picks him up in a double leg, carries him across the cage, like smiling at everyone, and just puts him on his head and just continues to maul this guy. And I looked at my dad at that point, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to do. And I always kind of had that goal. And I even tried to like get into boxing and jiu-jitsu in high school, but my wrestling coaches back then, they were like, we don't want you to learn to be on your back, which I don't think that was even close to being right. I wish I would have been able to start back then, but yeah, it all comes back around, you know?
For sure. You were undefeated as an amateur. You were undefeated as a pro fighter. So obviously you know how to win.
Yeah.
And your last fight on record that I could find was in 2021. Why stop when you're at the top?
Yeah. So I had a pretty bad neck injury, and the doctors were telling me all these different things. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was told that I had brain damage. I was told that I had MS and all this stuff. So I'm going through all these tests, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And eventually we run out of tests, and they're like, well, we just don't know. So at that point, I was like, well, what do I do now? You know what I mean? You're just looking for this thing that's wrong the whole time, and you just don't find it. So then you have no answers for the questions you have, and then you're kind of just in that cycle again. So then, long story short, a teammate of mine from college was having a surprise birthday party. His wife messages me. She's like, hey, can you come to this birthday party? I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can come to that. So we get there early. We're waiting for him to show up. She's going to bring him a little bit later. I'm in here with people that I don't know anything about, don't know who they are. And this guy comes up to me, sees my ears. He's like, hey, you're Tyler's fighting friend, aren't you? I was like, yeah, that's me, or used to be at least. And he's like, all right. He's like, I want to work with you. I was like, well, what do you want to work with me on? He's like, well, I have this machine. He's like, it's called Electrons Plus. He's like, and I work with boxers out in Vegas all the time. Like I work with Caleb, can't think of his name right now. But anyway, he's working with these big boxers. I know who they are. So I'm like, you know what, this guy might actually be legit. So he was like, yeah, come see me. He's like, but it might be a far drive for you because I'm not from here. We're in Ambridge at the time. And I was like, oh yeah, where are you at? He said, Murraysville. I was like, dude, that's right beside me. So I went and saw him the next day. And that's what eventually made my neck start coming back around, and everything kind of changed back for the better. And I was able to compete again, and been doing jiu-jitsu since.
So you've been competing for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah.
On the joints.
Yeah.
On muscles. You mentioned breaking your, breaking your ribs. Before you found this machine, how bad did it get? Were you waking up in pain every day? Were you like, I can never do this again? Yeah.
So not to, I mean, I don't want to really throw my sob story out there, but I was at the point where I was just kind of sitting in my apartment, just like couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I had this crazy headache all the time. Like I felt like my body was shutting down on me. And like I said, they were telling me I had MS. I was like, yep, that's it. I got MS. So
Google said it. The doctor said it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, it is what it is. I got the CAT scan and all that stuff. And they were like, yeah, you either had several concussions or MS. I was like, well, how do I know for sure? Eventually, I was like, I'm tired of this. How do I know for sure if I have MS so I can start working with it and get it back to where I can continue living my life like I want to? And he was like, well, the only way is to do a spinal tap. I was like, well, let's do it. It's a needle like this long, and they stick it in your spine and they draw out your spinal fluid. And after that, you got to lay on the ground for 3 days straight, just flat. You don't move because your spinal cord is a closed system, right? So they're like, it's not supposed to ever come out. So whenever it comes out, your body has to reproduce it. And your body has to work at like this crazy rate to reproduce your spinal fluid to like refill that lining. So you just lay there and wait for that to happen. But I'm glad I did it because the next week they were like, oh, dude, your spinal fluid's perfect. You don't have MS.
Well, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, perfect. Let's go. Now we're back in.
Needles and me don't really get along. We have a hate-hate relationship. If I see that, I'd be like, let me go.
They have a mirror. So you're laying on your stomach and they have this mirror. They're like, so you can see what we're doing. I was like,
I don't want to.
I'll see it, whatever. So I'm watching and I just see this needle. I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to watch anymore.
Do you awake for this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel
the
it?
whole time? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you feel it. It doesn't feel good. It's a giant needle going into your spine.
Why not put you to sleep?
Well, I think that was an option, but I mean, obviously, I don't really.
You didn't take?
No. Why?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well,
why?
because it was going to cost extra, and it was going to. I was like, dude, I just want to get it done. At this point, I was so frustrated with all of it. I was like, just do it. I was like, whatever you got to do, like, I don't care how we have to do it, just do it. Get it done.
It's that wrestler's mind, man. They're a different breed. I'd be like, put me to sleep.
No.
Knock me out, numb it, just in case I feel it in my sleep.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Electrons Plus, essentially saved your career.
Yeah.
What is Electrons Plus? How does it work?
So Electrons Plus is basically it's guided PEMF. So scientifically what it does is it introduces ATP into the cells. So basically I can trace your nerves and see which ones are firing properly and which ones aren't. So in my neck, whenever you have like a pinched nerve, it's not going to be functioning properly. Well, my atlas was at like a 45-degree angle, so my left side of my vagus nerve just basically shut off. So I go see Dr. Joe. He starts feeling around. He's like, hey, your left side of your vagus nerve is just not doing anything. He's like, that's why you feel so terrible. He's like, it's not working. And your vagus nerve goes through almost every organ in your body. So it is connected to like your stomach, your lungs, your kidneys, all that stuff. So when your vagus nerve is off, your whole body starts shutting down. So he starts playing with my vagus nerve. The very first day I was like, dude, I feel like I could train right now. He's like, go train. So I went and trained. Next week I come back to him. I'm like, dude, I've been training all week. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm telling you, we're going to get you back. So then here we are, probably 2 years later. I still go see him every week. Now we're business partners. At a certain point, he was like, hey, dude. He's like, you love this thing. He's like, you know it works. You believe in it. He's like, I could use another one around just to help me because I'm getting bigger and like I'm expanding and all this stuff. He's like, why don't you go get one? And I was like, dude, you're crazy. I'm not doing that. And then I started thinking about it, like really thinking about it. I was like, you know what? That's why all this happened, so that I could end up going down this path and helping people through what I went through. You know what I mean?
So you started as a beneficiary of the system.
Yeah.
And you believed in it so much,
Yeah.
and it worked so well for you that you were like,
yeah.
I'm going to jump in on this thing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And essentially became partners with the dude who got you back.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Now he's one of my best friends. Like I go and see him and his family all the time. He's got a little boy, Elijah. He calls me Uncle Jake, you know what I mean? So we're family now.
That's awesome. A lot of fighters retire and open a gym.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of went a different route and started a recovery business.
Well, I mean, the gym's still possible in the future. You never know. You never know.
What would you call it?
What would I call it?
What would you call it? Putting you on the spot.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm not going to lie. But when I started fighting, like that was the ultimate goal, was to have my gym. And I think that's thanks to people like Isaac and Matt and Dempsey, Evan, Dom, because I saw how much they helped me in my life, and not even about the fighting as much as like what they helped me become as a human. And I always thought like, I want to do that for people. You know what I mean? So eventually, yeah, that's kind of the ultimate goal still. Don't know when or what the name will be, but you got any ideas?
I'll think of some. That's
All
my
right.
specialty.
Yeah.
Branding.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Lowry factory.
No, I was thinking Math Factory B or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to speak
Math
for
Factory
Isaac,
2,
but it'd be
we'll go
cool.
with
That's
that.
how you can branch, right? Like
Yeah.
he sponsors your gym, and now it's like
Well, and it's
product of whatever you name it, product of Matt Factory.
Yes.
After.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not me trying to steal Isaac's name or anything like that, but that's me. I feel like that's the respect I have for him, is like I never want to not be a part of the Math Factory.
Well, you're paying homage to him, and it's
Yeah.
like Matt Factory can go train there. You can go train over there. It becomes
Yeah.
essentially like a little franchise business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a franchise,
And you stay a family. Yeah, the family just grows.
which is scary to see the Matt Factory
Yeah.
being everywhere. It's like,
Yeah, hopefully it's somewhere warm.
let's open up a Florida
Yeah,
Florida
exactly.
gym.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this machine saving your competitive career.
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean possibly we see a return of Jake in the cage?
I mean, never say never. I can't really speak too much on it, but
So you're the only one who can.
let's just say I've been feeling pretty good lately, and I've started kind of playing around a little bit again. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. And how was it pivoting towards the business side, man? You had to like learn a technology. Like I can't imagine. I just saw the machine you pulled out.
Yeah,
Probably a lot to learn from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to
I'm still learning.
get it.
Always.
Is it? That's
Yeah.
cool. Is there like, did he put you like a training curriculum? Is it something that you kind of learn as you go?
So you can only get it from one guy. The machine I have, there's one person. You have to go through him. Dr. Joe's like, listen, you need to talk to this guy. He has to approve you for this machine. He doesn't just give it to anyone. If he doesn't believe in what you're selling, he's not giving you this machine. He's like, so step number 1, I gave him your number. He's going to be reaching out to you. Be ready. I was like, okay.
You got an interview to buy this guy's
Oh,
machine.
for sure.
So that goes to show you
yeah,
that he's approaching it the right way.
Yeah. And I was on vacation in Tennessee at the time with my family, and I'm just freaking out. They're all like, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm not telling you guys because I don't know. I don't want to like get your hopes up or get my hopes up when I haven't even talked to this guy yet. I don't know if he's going to believe in me or not. You know what I mean? And he calls me. We talked for probably 2 hours, and it went great. I was like, all right, I'm on the same level as this guy. I think the best part about it is not only was he interviewing me, but I was interviewing him. You know what I mean? I was like, what does this guy want me to do with this machine? Like, what is his goal with this machine? Like, what can we do together? You know what I mean? And after talking to him for a couple hours, I was like, yeah, this is a guy I can follow. This is a guy I can work with, and I believe in what he's selling. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's one thing to believe in what's being sold,
Yeah.
but if the person behind that is legit and there's a
Yeah.
partnership, man, the opportunities are endless.
Well, we had such a similar story too. It was almost like looking in the mirror a little bit. I was like, how did you even come about this machine? He was like, well, I've been a chiropractor for X amount of years. He's like, I've always been huge into golf. I love playing golf. And he said he tore I believe it was his right shoulder, to a point where they couldn't really fix it without doing surgery. He was like, and as a chiropractor, obviously, I try to avoid surgery at all costs. So he's trying all this different stuff, and then he ends up finding this guy. And I don't know the whole story completely, so I'm just kind of giving what I can remember. But apparently this guy had this machine, and it was just kind of a prototype of what I have. And he was like, hey, can I try this on my shoulder? So he tries it. The next day he goes out and plays golf. And he's like, dude, I can play golf again. Like, what is this thing? So he goes back, talks to the guy. He's like, why haven't you made this mainstream yet? And the guy said, honestly, I don't have the money to do the patent and get the machines produced. But if you want to do it, let's do it. So he jumped into business with that guy. They started producing them, and they're still not like super relevant yet. I think I'm only the 4th or 5th person in Pennsylvania with one, but they're growing.
Well, that's good. I'm excited to try it later.
Yeah.
So you've been, you've been through injury over injury, and you've had to learn how to recover through that. And now it seems like you've kind of dialed that recovery in. How has your approach to training hard, and I say air quotes because everyone's definition of that, how has that changed from 21-year-old Jake to the Jake we have here today?
Well, I realized I'm not invincible, first off. When you're 21, you think nothing can hurt you. And then when you turn 30, you're like, all right, now everything hurts.
Getting out of bed hurts.
Just being smarter about it. Like I said, being confident enough to take time off. And I don't mean take time off as sitting on the couch, but take time off as like, I'm not going to kill myself today. I'm going to do some active recovery, and I'm going to actually focus on healing my body rather than breaking it down today, right? So it's just kind of that mix between breaking it down, building it up. That's kind of what I've been focusing on a lot lately.
As a black belt, when you look at white belts today, what is the number one mistake they make that leads to burnout or injury?
I would say just comparing yourself to others and trying to learn everything at once and not understanding that it's a process. I mean, if you just follow the process like your coaches tell you to, you will eventually become a black belt if you're doing the right things. If you try to accomplish all of it at once, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get burnt out, in my opinion.
Well, that's good to know, too, because it's coming in new. The first thing you want to do is hit it hard like everyone else is doing.
And you should. You should hit it hard. But whenever you don't know everything a month in, don't let it kill your ego and kill your drive to keep learning. Like, you have to understand that it is a staircase of a transition that you have to go through, right? Like the first stair, you're learning like how to defend chokes, you're learning how to get off your back, you're learning how to get out of mount. And then the next step, you start doing your submissions, all that stuff. Like, it's just, you have to climb the staircase, and you don't get from the bottom stair to the top stair in one jump. You got to take each different level.
Well, that's good. And where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? What's your goals?
My goals?
Your goals.
In which way?
Both. All of them.
All of them?
In MMA, training, and now that you have the business, with the business.
Yeah. So with my business, I want to just continue to learn, continue to grow. I want to continue to help as many people as I can and hopefully make a network out of it and make it become a family. For my training, I still want a black belt world championship. That's something that I want. So we'll see. That's a goal of mine. I think for me personally, I feel like I need to fight one more time.
See, I think you should too.
Yeah. I think it's a fear almost that I have now because it's been so long and you feel so removed from it and you went through this whole traumatic process. And I think in order for me to get over that, I think I need to step in there again.
See, I think I'm going through that with Jiu Jitsu and my knee.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a mind thing.
They say everything you want is on the other side of that cliff, right?
Jump into the void.
Jump into the void. That's it.
All right, now we're gonna, as we wind down, I like to do this relentless rapid round. You've been on the mats for 2 decades. Let's see how fast your reactions are. These are gonna be quick,
all right,
quick and fast. If you get into a street fight, what comes out first, the collegiate wrestling takedown or the BJJ submission?
Head kick.
Oh, head kick.
Don't let them get close.
What hurts more, getting your ear drained or the day after a weight cut?
Never drained my ear. I just let it go. So definitely the day after weight cut.
He said, good, let it go.
It's a trophy, right?
I guess. Describe the feeling of Electrons Plus therapy in one word.
Amazing.
We're about to find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wrestling or BJJ, which sport is harder to become a world champion in?
That one. See, that's a tough question. No comment on that one. I can't pick sides on that one.
He's not gonna. I tried.
No.
What is the one food you crave the most during a fight camp?
I don't know about fight camp, but in wrestling, it was always peanut butter and jelly and chocolate milk, which I don't even really like that much. But when I was cutting weight, it's what I wanted.
They're just carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And fats.
I don't know what it was. Just something.
PB&J. I can't pass up a good PB&J.
Yeah.
You've been at the top of wrestling and BJJ. What does greatness mean to Jake Lowry?
Greatness means how many people can I help throughout this process, and how much of a or how much improvement can I do on myself in the process. I don't really think the results are what matters. I think it's who you become.
And we're going to close with some questions that kind of tie everything in, your story, what you've been through, and how can listeners hopefully apply this to what they're doing, even if they're not an All-American wrestler or Jiu Jitsu practitioner. But the majority of the listeners, have careers and hobbies and families. How can we kind of pull the principles and apply it to their lives? So you've dealt with the injuries that end most careers, yet you found a way to fix them and keep going. To the listener who is too banged up to exercise or to train, what is your message?
It's a choice. It's always a choice. If you think you can't do it, I'm here to tell you you're probably wrong. Like, you can do it. It's a choice you have to make. Even if you have to start small and work your way up to it, it's just a process. Everyone goes through that grind every day. Like, no one feels great every day. You're never going to. But if you can get a little bit better each day, then eventually you'll get to your goal.
I 100% agree with you. The only thing I disagree with, you said if you think you can't, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. If you think you can't, I'm going to tell you you're right. Because if you're thinking
true.
that,
yes,
it's
that's
true.
the choice. Yep.
If you're thinking you can get through it, you can.
Yep.
And it's crazy how the mind works. But like you said,
Insane.
baby steps. Man, I'm going to have Britt on the show next, and she's going on. She went through an injury, and that's why I was asking a lot of these questions, because I'm going to be talking to her, and I'd like to, I'm going through my own thing. So how did you get through it? How is she getting through it? It's good to know, how are people getting through, the people at the levels of you guys, how are we managing this? And it's that mindset. It's mine.
Well, it's mindset, and sometimes your own mind isn't really strong enough to get you through all these things. So I think your environment and who you surround yourself with, when you're down in that pit, you want someone to reach down and grab you. You know what I mean? If you're surrounded by the right people, then they're going to, I wouldn't say force you, that's a bad word, but they're going to help you get through that problem.
Facts. If someone is listening and they're in chronic pain or feeling their athletic career slipping away, what is the first step they should take to reclaim their body?
I would say assess what the issue is and start learning the best ways to accommodate for that. So whatever it takes, whether it's rehab, whether it's Electrons Plus, whether it's surgery, whatever your next step is, do that. And then once you do that, then find the next step. And it's just a process. It just keeps going.
And the easiest question I've probably asked you all episode. Where can people find Electrons Plus, and where can they follow your journey online?
So Electrons Avenue Wellness.com, and you can go on my Instagram. I don't even know what it is, honestly.
We'll tag it.
We'll tag it.
That's how into social media
Yeah.
is. It's it's up there. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not super big into the social media, but if anybody wants to learn more about it or even give it a try, whatever, just reach out to me. I'm pretty open. I'll have a conversation with you. If you have questions or concerns, just ask. And if I don't know, I will find out. And Dr. Joe and I for sure can get something figured out.
Awesome. Make sure you go follow him online, find him, follow his journey. Bro, I appreciate you for jumping on the Relentless Project.
Yeah, no problem.
This is the one with Jake Lowry, and we're out. We're actually going to, if you stick around, I'll add it on to the end of this video. He's going to put me through this machine. Now, I've done rehab, and I've used similar things, and it's been interesting. So I'm interested to see how this is.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
stick around. I appreciate you for coming on.
Can I add one more thing in
For
real
sure.
quick?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Trent Zadarko. I mean, he just passed on Thursday after getting a double lung transplant a year and a half or so ago. That was my brother, and I'm going to miss him. And if anyone can just kind of reach out to his family and help them out as much as possible, we would all appreciate that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I did just see that. I actually shared it on my story because I remember it was years ago, but he was big in the scene. I was following him, and then I didn't even know he was going through this, and I feel horrible about it.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was just like, wow,
Yeah,
it's
terrible.
just crazy. So, Yeah, definitely reach out. Do they have a GoFundMe? Are they doing anything for them that I can?
I mean, if you look on the Mat Factory Facebook page or Instagram pages, they usually seem to have most of the things that are going on there. I mean, I think if anything, just prayers and just kind of letting them know that you're there for them.
For sure. I'll tag all that. Definitely will be praying for you guys, the family, the friends, and the community that he surrounded himself with.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry to end it on a bad note.
But it's a community. This is what we're here for, man. We're all here to lift each other up. And right now there's a family in need who needs lifted up. So please pray, share your condolences. So this is the one with Jake. Appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate you for sharing your story, getting kind of vulnerable with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Anytime.
We're out. Later. We just got to hear from Jake Lowry. This episode is the epitome of longevity. It's easy to be relentless when you're 22 and healthy. It's a lot harder to be relentless when you have 20 years of combat sports mileage on your body. Jake didn't accept that his time was up. He went out, found the technology that worked, and built a business around it to help himself and others. He proves that recovery isn't soft. Recovery is the only way you stay in the fight. If you're an athlete dealing with pain or just someone trying to feel better, check out Electrons Avenue Wellness. Share this episode with one friend who would be inspired by this conversation. Follow Relentless Project on Instagram, X, and YouTube at Relentless PRJCT. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, show some love so we can keep bringing you awesome guests with relentless stories. And remember, we don't settle, we don't quit, and we don't wait for permission. Love you all. I'm Ish. This is the Relentless Project, and I will see you on the next one. Later.